The rhinoceros's hypothesis was preposterous. Preposterous. All right, we sound good. Buckle up. This one's titled My Unplanned Home Depot Retirement Job from 401k to IL4K. That's a good one. This channel's called What's Up Boomer? And this just goes to show that not all boomers had it on easy street. Now, I actually watched this video, randomly popped in my feed, and I was like, you know what? I like this guy so much, I'm gonna watch it again with you guys. And just blow this big boy up, Big Daddy here, and yeah, hopefully we learned something here.
Let me be clear. This wasn't the plan. It was never the plan that I would work 20 some years, 30 years in my profession, whether it be teaching, and then I was going to go to work for Home Depot, collect Social Security, and go to work for Home Depot. Not the plan. I think.
I don't think it's anybody's plan. But before we continue, think about this. I believe he said he's 67 years old. I'm 35, so I'm 30 years behind him. And if boomers, what's up, boomer? That's a good channel name. If they had it so easy then, and we know we have it super easy now, I think about this. I go, what's going to happen by the time I'm his age? If that makes any sense. We're going to learn a lot here. This is part of my plan. That's good.
To be honest, the avoidance of wanting to talk about working in retirement is a level of embarrassment, shame, even that here I am working uh, at Home Depot. I guess I'll throw this in here now. Remember the threats of if you don't pay attention in school, by your teachers or whoever, if you don't study, you're going to be working at Home Depot. I think back then, what I remember people saying is, you're going to end up a Walmart greeter. And I
You know what's crazy? Is this guy already watched this, so he's a teacher. He's had real jobs, corporate jobs, shit with we would think would have a pension, right? Nowadays it's like they may as well just say, "Hey, you could do everything right and you're still going to end up working at Walmart." And it used to be, I think they said ditch digger. That was more kind of accurate, at least from the movies in my time period with that threat. But now it's like, hey, even if you do get that great job, you could still end up working at Home Depot.
I might make a video about that because that demeans the person you're talking to. But you know what else? It also demeans the person that's doing that job. And I have a story about a Walmart greeter, and it's a good one. But that's just wrong. I don't think we should be talking about jobs or about people in that way related to the job. So maybe that's just me, but maybe I'm kind of maybe I feel this sense of embarrassment because of just my personal experiences. But here I am.
Actually, he's got a point. My mother lost her job before she passed away 5 years ago. She was 64, right on the brink of Social Security, and she would have got the most, she would have got like 2,000 something bucks for Social Security, but that wouldn't have been enough. And in her 401k, she really didn't have that much to last her another 20 years if she were to live that long. But I remember she had this pride of, no, I worked at a law firm. She wasn't a lawyer, but she was like, she managed a law firm and she was proud of that. And I remember and she was like too good to go get a job. Not only too good, but most companies didn't want to hire a 64-year-old. But I remember seeing that like firsthand and I was like, Mom, no one gives a shit. Like, you're the coolest person. You just need a little extra money. But she had this pride to her, which I think we all kind of do. When I was a waiter, I was bartending, I was waiting tables at 33 years old. Not a good look. And I don't care if I was making good money. It's still, there's a level of, you're a waiter and you're 33. Yeah, just something to think about. But I think all that's kind of out the window at this point. Like, I don't even give a shit. As long as I'm making enough money to live, I don't care anymore. And I think that's where a lot of people are going to end up. And I think this is where this guy's ended up. He's just, I don't care anymore. And why should you? Well, really, why should you care?
Maybe it's a reflection of what I've thought when I look at people. I've had thoughts of, look at that poor guy. Sometimes I think about that when I'm at Costco or Sam's Club, and I look right now. You look at all the people giving them food samples, and you just think, wow, that's a tough way. They're doing that not because of the love of the job. I know they're doing that because all they've probably got is Social Security, and this is helping them buy food, pay the necessities only bills, and so there is a feeling that of empathy, maybe some sympathy. I think of people thinking, look at that poor guy, ended up in retail in the golden years. Again, not what you plan to do. But let me just say there is a positive side to this. This is also an important feeling that you must have ended up here, Phil, or I look at our people, they must have ended up where they are ultimately because they failed, to carry out a financial plan. They failed to be disciplined. Um, they were irresponsible. Uh,
Perfect point. Think about this, right? A lot of us younger people go, boomers had it so easy. Well, imagine this. They were literally promised. Like, we know. You're 35, under, 40, even under. You kind of knew. We kind of know, like, okay, like, I'm probably going to end up working down at Kinko's or something, right? I'm going to be at Home Depot with Phil here. That's this guy's name. But imagine that. You're this guy. You're one of the boomers that we have this kind of they had it made situation. You do it all correct. You do the 401k, Social Security's supposed to lock you down. And then we reach this point. Just something to think about. That's all I'm saying. Because nowadays, I can't tell you how many people, I'm 35, they have nothing saved for retirement. And why would you? You could work down on aisle 4 with Phil. Just something to think about. Something to think about.
Now, this video isn't going to be about that because I was not. I had a plan. I had financial knowledge. But that's a whole different story. Today, though, it's about where I have landed. It's about making the best of the way things have turned out. So this path of ended up working at Home Depot with my Social Security was not really a result of a bad decision, nor a number of bad decisions. It's a result of the way life has turned out.
Got priced the fuck out. That's what he's trying to say, and I'm going to say it for him. Also, I'm going to leave this guy's channel down below. I subbed to him. I got to say, it takes a lot of balls. And also, there's so many kids, even people my age, who want to do YouTube. Take this guy as inspiration. Okay? This dude's putting himself out there. He's going, I need another plan. And YouTube is part of that plan. And Home Depot, of course. But I'll leave his info down below. Just, show him some love once we're done watching this here.
I had a teaching career. I had a corporate career. And my last corporate job, I was in a sales position selling an online education program and helping the people then successfully complete it. They found that there was a high degree of failure, which then resulted in a very high percentage of non-payment. So I said, I can get these people through it. And I was getting the people that I was helping through the course successfully. So they put me in charge of a new department that did just that, get them back involved. Well, that came to an end. I quit that job because there was a change in corporate direction. And then I was off work for a couple months. Well, not having savings that sustained me the rest of my life, I started thinking about what am I going to do? What kind of businesses could I start, et cetera, et cetera. When you're at this age, though, starting a business with little capital, and less energy than when you're younger, that's not necessarily a viable one.
You never really think about that. Like, even if you're somewhere in 30 to 40 years old and you're going, what am I supposed to do? Imagine being Phil right now. 60 years old going, I guess I'm going to be a YouTuber. What business can I do? What is he, fucking Ray Kroc? It's just something to think about, and it's not all bad. Like, this guy's actually brings up some positives here, and but it's just crazy to. And Phil's not alone. Oh, he's not alone. If both my parents were alive right now, they'd probably have to be. They would have to be doing something, or I would be paying for them. That's the truth. And they did everything right, except for my dad. He did a lot of drugs. He was an alcoholic. He fucked up. But my mom did everything by the book, textbook, sacrificed her life for a company. Yeah.
I had a neighbor that was working part-time at Home Depot, this Home Depot. And I thought, yeah, are they hiring? I asked her, are they hiring? She goes, yeah. She said, they'd hire you in a heartbeat. And I put an application in and I got hired in a heartbeat. I ended up at the service desk, and thankfully so. The people that work here, there's really no middle ground. There's a bunch of young people, 18 to 25, and then there's a bunch of old people, 60 plus. Not a whole lot in between, except the career-minded individuals that are working up through the company. And I remember in the interview, I got interviewed 2 different times by 2 people, great people. I felt like they were giving me a chance. And the second interview basically was the hiring interview, that like, let's find a place for you. Well, I put the application in for building and lumber. I thought, now, ignorance is bliss. I thought this would be a good way to get back into shape. Yeah, it is, but not at 60. I was 62 or 3 at the time, because throwing around 50, 60, 70, 80, 100-pound bags of concrete, which does happen on occasion. Look, I'm not saying I couldn't get back into shape. Might take a few years. Who knows what I might hurt. But thank goodness the person that interviewed me said, well, Phil, you can choose what you want to do. I recommend the customer service desk. And that just seemed like a no-brainer. I'd pretty much been in customer service my whole life. And dealing with the public, and that came second nature to me. So there it was.
You know what I was just thinking about? When like tradespeople, what do you like? So many jobs are kind of out the window when you're at that age. Like, a lot, like so many jobs. I was just thinking about that. You're gonna be putting up drywall at 67. I guess some people can. I don't want to say you couldn't do that. I'm just saying, fuck, dude.
I said, I'll defer to your recommendation. And she took one look at me, I'm sure, maybe 2, and thought, this guy, I appreciate his heart to want to work in lumber and building materials, but he's better off standing at the service desk. Hey, I want to interject here. I'm back here editing and working through this story, working at Home Depot. And 2 things. Number one, if you're at this far and you're still listening, would you mind subscribing, liking?
Yeah, subscribe to Phil right now. Cut the shit. He needs your help. Just joking. I'm not.
It is important, and I would really appreciate it. Number 2, the other thing I want to say is a positive coming up about working at Home Depot is the amount of the younger people that will help you out. When I do have to load an 80-pound bag of concrete or move it, they always step in and say, Phil, let me get that for you. And then I joke around with them saying, when I was your age, I used to do 2 of these, 1 in each arm.
Classic Phil.
I started part-time, as everyone does. Within a month, they offered me full-time if I'd be a closer. I said, no way. And to be honest, there was an adjustment period of actually standing on my feet all day. Something when you're younger, you don't give a second look or a second thought of. But on top of that, it's a concrete floor. And that was a challenge, although I overcame that pretty quickly. Well, after about 8 more months, I was working 26 to 30 plus hours a week, sometimes 40. And I thought, I could use those benefits versus what I had with the government ones. And I decided if I just added 1 more day here, I could get the benefit. So that was a big plus. On top of that, I obviously enjoyed working in this environment and for this company. It was a good move. Let me talk a little bit about the positives of having a part-time or full-time job in retirement. And I even think, and I've met a few people that even have thought about doing this and are doing it, and they have a retirement fund. They don't have to work, but they're choosing to work. But why would you do it? Well, number one is the social interactions. You know, the couple months that I didn't work, social interaction became a minimum, and that as much as anything can affect you, not so much physically, although the sitting around isn't good, but mentally, emotionally. Lacking that social interaction is not healthy, and it can really bring you down. I remember telling my doctor one time, "Hey, I'm just not feeling good. I feel I'm tired. I'm not, I've never been this pessimistic in my life before." And all he said was, "We all feel that way, Phil." I was looking for those happy pills, but I was kind of glad I'm glad he handled it like he did. Well, getting this job was an immediate socialization booster, and it's been so positive. It gave me an opportunity to meet all kinds of people, not only to work with all kinds of people, uh, which is good, and make new friends, but an opportunity to meet all kinds of people that come in the store.
All right, let's cut the shit here. We both know it's not just about the social interaction. Unfortunately, a lot of these older people, like we covered a guy a couple months ago, he has no savings. He has nothing. He's literally doing Uber and YouTube and another gig. He's hustle culture in your 60s. The rest of this video is great. He dives back into the retirement and everything, but I want to leave you a reason to go back and finish this video out and give Phil here, what's up, Boomer, some support. I didn't even like this video. What an asshole. Let's go to the comments, because I highly doubt he's alone. Unfortunately, this is kind of going to be, metaphorically, most of us are going to be working at Home Depot. And quite literally. I don't know why I said metaphorically. All right. Anyone doing legal, moral, honest work at any stage in life will always have my respect. Yeah, 1,000%. Not being dead or in prison is a success story for me. Oh, jeez. The bar's low, dude. All work has dignity. I've worked jobs that paid me $250,000 a year. Damn. And jobs that paid me less than $10 an hour. They all felt the same, like work. Every job has its ups and downs, but you should be proud of any work you do. I think people are getting past that point. Like I said, when I was a waiter, there was a level of kind of shame to it. Although I knew that I was making more money than a lot of other jobs that I could go work, which is kind of crazy to think, but it still holds up. You can get a good bartending position, you'd be shocked. That's why sometimes you see somebody in their 40s still bartending. You're like, what are you doing? They're like, I've been here 15 years. I make fucking $1,800 a week, and I work 4 days. So they just stay there forever. Where are you going to go do that? Where are you going to go make $400 a night without taking your clothes off or selling drugs? I guess you could become a YouTuber, but how viable, not everybody's going to be able to pull that off, except for Phil here. I am 63, work in the Lowe's plumbing department. It's quite all right. Lots of beneficial walking. Yeah, a lot of people work. Yeah, it's funny, though, when you go to Home Depot, it is a lot of older people working there. Let me see. After four decades as a painting contractor, I went to Home Depot at age 62. I'm still there 20 years later. No, dude. 80 years old, just still running it up. But I guess if you don't have family, you don't have grandkids, you don't have a lot of hobbies, I guess it is something to do. But how many of us, younger people, are going to get to that stage where it's like, we actually need this job, like for real? I am an RN right now at 55, and to be honest, I would much rather be a paint mixer or water plants at Lowe's and Home Depot than what I'm currently doing. I am looking forward to retirement. Yeah, dude, I've worked some jobs I really just hated, and that's why I quit them. I would rather wait tables or bartend than. I've had an office job before. Oh my God, dude. I commend anybody that has worked at an office job for longer than 2 years. Like, I couldn't do it. No shame in being a productive member of society. My dad is a barber and has been cutting hair since 1964. He'll be 81 in June and still working 4 days a week. Yeah, but I think it's at that point too. It's, kind of something to do, something you like doing. But imagine doing something you don't like and having to in your 60s or 70s. After farming 71 years, my father worked part time bagging groceries at Target until 83. He liked it, it was his social outlet. Jesus Christ. This just kind of goes to show. I'll leave Phil's info down below. This just kind of goes to show you, though, like, there's a lot of people like this guy we just watched. So I didn't start really putting away toward retirement until I was 30. I wish I thought about that earlier, but I know there's a lot of you like me out there. You just kind of never thought about it. But this is one of those things where I make sure every month, even if it's just a little bit, I put as much as I can away. Anyways, give Phil some love. If you want to invest in yourself, get some gold. I got a link down below, Atlas Bullion. A way to just stash some cash. It's not going to make you rich, but at least it's a way to put away for your future. Also, thanks to everybody who bought shirts. Really do appreciate that. Spending your hard-earned retirement money on me. Anyways, unreal, man. Gotta go visit this guy. What Home Depot is he at?